What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Eve 6 and their 2000 album Horrorscope. Thank you again to Yvonne. And the next track is Promise. A single word title. A promise is a commitment or a declaration of intent. And of course, promises can be issued in different contexts. They can be more or less sincere, and they can be followed through upon or broken. Now, even if they are broken, that can be through deliberate deceit, but in other cases it can be because of external factors or just a failure where one intended to follow through on it. So yes, promises can be a lot of different things in different contexts, but it is a single word title. There's no additional context to get a read on, so let's just listen and I'll see what I can catch. This is Eve 6. The track is Promise, and it's from their 2000 album Horrorscope.
Sleeping through the evening, singing dreams inside my head. I'm heading out, I've got some ins who say they care and they just might. I run away with you if things don't go as planned. Planning big could be a gamble, I've already rolled the dice. I spit and stutter, stuff and clutter, worries in my worried corner. Maladjusted, just untrusted, rusted, sometimes brilliant, busted thoughts. Think I'll stay for a while, I'm intrigued and I'm red as a newborn, white as a corpse. Promise not to try not to fuck with your mind. Promise not to mind if you go your way and I go mine. I promise not to lie if I'm looking you straight in the eye. I promise not to try not to let you down. I am elated, I am all smiles invaded in my man bites dog down with a Spanish name. I'm all bone, I'm two-tone, red as a newborn, white as a corpse. I promise not to try not to fuck with your mind. I promise not to mind if you go your way and I go mine. I promise not to lie if I'm looking you straight in the eye. I promise not to try not to let you down, to let me down. Why you gotta keep a fan on high when it's cold outside? Just wanna let you know that I'm still a fan. Get it? Everybody wants charm and a smile and a promise, but I promise not to try.
Thought it might roll in one more time. But okay, so yeah, sonically that has a lot of that like late 90s, early 2000s alternative rock energy. I do enjoy the rhythms of the track. I do enjoy the vocal extensions in the latter stages there. And yeah, the guitar work specifically I enjoy. And lyrically, I don't know, most of it sounds like he's saying like, you know, I promise not to fuck with your mind, I promise not to lie, I promise not to try to let you down, but then it was to like not try. So like I think he's saying like, look, I'm gonna try to make this as approachable or fair to you as I can, including not being dishonest, not, you know, gaslighting you or messing with your head, and not leaving, which all sounds like, you know, a genuine commitment, though he is like saying like, you know, I promise not to do this but more like he's hoping that these things won't come up. Because I feel like, it's by implication, if you're saying, I promise not to do this, then there's at least the suggestion or the possibility that it could happen, or a perception that the other person might be thinking it will happen. But yeah, the like double negative, like I promise not to try not to let you down or something. I was like trying to unpack that. But generally speaking, it sounds like he's essentially promising to be fair and to do his best vis-a-vis this other person. So yeah, definitely a cool one, and one that, as I said, just really has a lot of that like early 2000s rock energy, which I enjoy. Again, I listened to a lot of different music back when I was in my 20s, which, I turned 20 in 2000. So yeah, this would have been a tune, and first two tracks only. I don't quite know what the full album will sound like, but yeah, definitely something that would have caught my ear at the time. So once again, big thank you to Yvonne. Let me know what you think, and Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.